This is undoubtedly transactional, this visit, but everything that Trump has ever done is transactional. His deal with the Houthis, by all accounts, was extremely transactional, by which the Houthis have agreed not to target American ships, not to do anything about what they're doing internally in Yemen, or indeed attacking Israel.
Let's talk about the Saudi trip, and I'm now told I can talk to John Jenkins, who is speaking to us from Riyadh. Welcome to you, John.
Good afternoon. Nice to be with you.
It's good to have you there. Forgive that sort of slight confusion. We're trying to make a connection with Riyadh in the Gulf. Didn't quite work out, but we do have you, which is a wonderful thing to be able to say. You're a former diplomat, a veteran of the Saudi scene. Look, what do you make of this visit? First of all, John, the President Trump is there. He's very interested on this trip, certainly, in business deals. And I guess we can say that he can expect lucrative business in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting for what it says about the way in which the political and diplomatic landscape as a whole is changing in the Middle East. I mean, this is undoubtedly transactional, this visit, but everything that Trump has ever done is transactional. His deal with the Houthis, by all accounts, was extremely transactional, by which the Houthis have agreed not to target American ships, not to do anything about what they're doing internally in Yemen, or indeed attacking Israel. The release of the American-Israeli hostage earlier this week also seems to have been transactional and come out of a direct contact that the Americans had with Hamas a couple of months ago, which annoyed the Israelis. And the absent bit in all of this, it seems to me, is actually Israel. I mean, I think it's almost. I think it is certainly true that Trump's desire to avoid conflict in the Middle East because he has other fish to fry, and those fish happen to be transactional fish, is not that dissimilar to the sort of things that Obama and Biden themselves wanted. They didn't want wars; they wanted to get out and so forth. But they took a far more traditionally diplomatic and sort of geopolitical view of how they could achieve these ends. I don't think Trump does at all. I think Trump doesn't want war, and he wants business. But it is, in a way, going with the grain of what a lot of Middle Eastern leaders themselves want, particularly in Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Qatar, and so forth, and the rest of the Gulf.
Yes.
So it is a fascinating moment that we're watching, that we're looking at the moment.
It really is. I mean, Israel is not, as it were, officially on the agenda, but we can bet, can't we, that the leaders in Saudi, in Qatar, in the UAE, they will want to raise Gaza, and again, accepting the conduct of Hamas in that war has been monstrous. They will want to see something more done to ease the plight of Palestinians. Clearly,
they'll be talking about Gaza because they have their own public opinions to manage. Their public opinions are obviously inflamed. Trump and his officials have said that they want to find a way to get more aid into Gaza. The one thing that's off the table, of course, is something that everyone was talking about a year ago, which is the possibility of normalization between Saudi Arabia and Israel. And the price of that was going to be the enhanced relationship with the United States. Well, it looks as if Saudi Arabia may get the enhanced relationship with the United States without any move on Israeli normalization. So it seems to me, at least in the short term, that Israel is the loser in all of this.
As you say, business so high on the agenda. I think we can now, John, cross live to Riyadh and hear something of Donald Trump who's addressing the conference there.
And most importantly for the people in this room, the days of economic misery under the last administration are rapidly giving way to the greatest economy in the history of the world. We are rocking. The United States is the hottest country, with the exception of your country, I have to say, right? I'm not going to take that on. No, Mohammed, I'm not going to take that on. Wouldn't that be a terrible thing if I made that full statement? But I will not do it. You're hotter. At least as long as I'm up here, you're hotter. But groceries, gasoline, energy, and all other prices are down with no inflation. We have no inflation in a few short weeks. We've created 464,000 brand new jobs. Think of that. It's almost 500,000 jobs created just in a matter of weeks. We just reached a historic trade agreement with the United Kingdom, and over the weekend we reached a breakthrough agreement with China. both outstanding deals. China's agreed. We have to get it down. We have to get the little details down. And Scott, you're going to work on that very hard, but China's agreed to open up to the United States for trade and everything else. But they have to do it, so we'll see what happens. But we had a very, very good meeting with both of those countries. We are cutting 10 old regulations for every new regulation. We're getting rid of all of the red tape that is so many, frankly, countries, as they get older, they develop a lot of red tape, and we're getting rid of it. We're getting rid of it at record levels. And I'm pleased to report that the United States Congress is on the verge of passing the largest tax cut and regulation cut in American history. We think we're in good shape to get that. And if we get that, that will be like a rocket ship for our country. In the first quarter of the year, the investment in America was up an astounding 22%. More than $10 trillion of new investments have been announced or are coming just since the election on November 5th. So think of that. In a very short period of time, we have over $10 trillion, and it could be much higher than that. Not everybody comes to the White House to have a news conference that they're going to be opening up in America, but they're all coming in at numbers that we've never seen before. If you take a look at other presidencies, they wouldn't do $1 trillion sometime in years. We did this in essentially 2 months because you have to say we got into office and they gave me about a month to clean up and fix up the Oval Office. And after that, we started working. And the money is pouring in, the jobs are pouring in, the companies are pouring into our country like we've never seen before. There's never been anything like it. And we let other people tariff us.
We're going to pull out of that a live feed of Donald Trump speaking in Riyadh. I think you get the sense and certainly the tone of all of that. The president seems to be very pleased with himself. Listening to that, John Jenkins, former senior British diplomat who was ambassador to Saudi Arabia as well as Iraq, Syria and Burma. We were saying, John, for the president, business is business. He signed a deal just earlier today, a $142 billion deal, or an arms deal. Saudi Arabia want some sort of defence relationship, don't they? And I think Trump wants to give it to them, but of course you need Congress for that, so it may have to be something rather informal.
Yeah, I mean the arms deal they've done. I mean the United States has been the principal weapons supplier to Saudi Arabia for decades. So it's a big deal, but the deal they signed today. But it doesn't seem to me to be particularly unusual. And normally those deals, as you say, come with a quid pro quo. So, given that Trump wants to get out of the United States or get out of the Middle East, and the Saudis have said that they would like a defense alliance of some sort, which commits the United States in some circumstances to come to Saudi Arabia's defense if it's attacked. It's hard to see where that is at the moment.
Yeah.
If something is going to be done, as I said earlier, it's going to be done separately to this issue of normalization with Israel, which in a way makes it a bit easier to do, but they still have to. Certainly, if they have something which concerns sensitive issues like the Saudi domestic nuclear program and so forth, it may have further political problems, as well as just the issue of getting any defense agreement through Congress. Okay. But there's clearly a lot going on. I mean, it's not just the Saudis are there, the Emiratis are there, the Kuwait, the Qataris are there, the Bahrainis are there, and so forth. Trump is going to the Emirates as well. And one other thing I should say, which I think is important, which is that Ahmed Ashara, the new de facto leader of Syria, is in Riyadh, or is going to be in Riyadh tomorrow. And the reports that I've just seen suggest he is going to see Trump, which I think is itself a really interesting development.
It is. We will be watching that. You can be sure. John Jenkins, a former British ambassador to Saudi Arabia, thank you.